All right, everybody, Sylvia here, and I am in the desert of Southern California wearing new merch. And today I want to talk about a big change I'm making to my camping gear. I've decided to switch out my tent, and I'm going to explain that there's really pretty much three reasons why I think the new tent is going to be a better fit for me. So, all right.
Come on, Myrtle. Let's go.
Okay, so I'm out in the backyard. I've got my tent set up. Conditions are ideal. Beautiful green grass, stakes are going in easy. And this is the Nemo Hornet two-person tent. I've had this tent for probably 5 years. Really nice tent. But I've decided that I am going to use a different tent for this upcoming tour. This is the Big Agnes Copper Spur HVUL2. Kind of a complicated name. So it's high volume, ultralight, two-person tent. And you can see that I have these tents set up very differently. So on the Nemo, I have just the tent body with the poles. And then one very nice feature about this Copper Spur is I can set this up with just the fly and the footprint. And I will probably always use a tent body, but what's nice about this is if the weather is bad, so if it's raining, I can set it up just like this and then add the tent body afterward. And so my tent body will always remain dry. This tent is fully freestanding, whereas the Nemo is not. You know, one of the biggest differences between traveling, bikepacking in the US and out of the US is the cost of accommodation. It's always the biggest budget item is accommodation, and hotels in the US are just so much higher than probably anywhere else in the world. But I have always found that I can find a hotel room pretty much anywhere in the world for $30, $40, even in Europe, like France, Spain, Portugal, Italy. You know, it's pretty easy to find a clean, comfortable, safe place to spend the night for $30, $40, pretty much anywhere. Occasionally, I would need to set up a tent, but it was pretty unusual. And so this tent is quite a bit more finicky to set up. You can see it's quite a bit smaller. Like my last tour was in Colombia, South America, for 6 months. I never used the tent. I had a place to stay. There was a hotel at every stop. And so that is just not going to be possible on this upcoming tour. This tour is going to be probably 9 months and in the US. And hotels in the US you have to expect them to be like $150. On the weekends, you know, they go up significantly, and that is too expensive for me. I can't afford it. I have a pretty tight budget, and I am going to need to camp a lot. This tent has just some pretty interesting features. Really, the reason why I bought it was there are 2 vestibules, 2 doors, and actually this tent also has 2 doors and 2 vestibules. But this tent, the vestibules kind of turn into an awning, and I don't have it set up very tight right now. I'm going to show you a video in a little bit where I have the tent body set up, and so you can see why I first wanted to check it out. It was intriguing enough, and then I've decided that I'm going to keep it. But I have it just connected to my trailer. And I don't have my trike at the moment. It's in the shop, so I'm just using a flag to pull out the other part of the awning. But it's on both sides you can do this. And then another thing that's unusual about this tent, I've never seen this before, but the footprint fills in the vestibules on both sides. And so that means you can put stuff outside of your tent and it's going to be clean and dry. And, you know, if it is raining, you can set it up just like this and then put your tent body in afterward. And so your tent body is always going to be dry. I really find that to be a very, very nice feature. But this is the reason why I wanted to try out this tent, is I can actually see my trike and trailer from the inside just gives me so much more peace of mind to actually have a visual on my trike and trailer. It should also help with condensation. There's going to be a lot more airflow. You know, I can keep my trike and trailer locked together, and then I can attach it to the tent. I've always locked my trike to a tree or maybe a picnic bench or a table, and once you're in the tent and the fly is zippered shut, you can't see anything. You don't know what's going on. You hope everything is going to be okay. But here I can actually keep everything right next to my tent. Everything is attached. I mean, it would be silly for someone to try to mess with my stuff. I can see what's happening. I don't have to hear maybe a raccoon or a squirrel and wonder if it's somebody trying to mess with my trike and, you know, have to get up out of my tent and go look around and see if everything's okay. I can see it. I can see it from the inside of the tent. So I think that this is going to be much more comfortable. And of course, the tent is just a lot bigger, even though they're both two-person tents. Now, this Nemo Hornet is a really nice tent. There is nothing wrong with it. I could have gone with it. It's really just a matter of how much camping I'm going to be doing and making it just a little bit more comfortable, a little bit easier, and it better be, because this Big Agnes tent is significantly more expensive. I think I paid under $400 for the Nemo Hornet 5 years ago. It's probably more now, but this Big Agnes tent is $600, and the footprint is $80. So the whole thing is almost $700. So to get your money's worth, it would have to be something like what I'm going to be doing. You know, I'm going to be triking 9,000 miles, probably out for 9-10 months. I'm going to be camping a lot. And so I will definitely be getting my money's worth. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys, was this big change. It's unusual to make such a big change so close to the start of a tour. Not something that I recommend. I've already had a Big Agnes tent, so I know what I'm getting myself into. I've used it before, but it's really, I mean, I think I'm going to be leaving in just over a week, so I think this tent is going to be a lot more comfortable. It's going to be easier to use. The tent body is going to be dry when it's raining, and in adverse conditions, it's going to be a lot easier to set up than this Nemo Hornet. So yeah, leave a comment in the comment section below. Stay safe, be healthy, and I will see you next time.